Hi, welcome to Tyne Valley Motorhomes. I'm Callum, and today's video I'll be showing you around the Swift Bolero 724, which is a 2016 model. So when you arrive at site and you want to hook the vehicle up with mains 240 power, you get your hookup lead, lift the flap on the van, which is on the driver's side, and slide on here. This is how you hook the vehicle up with mains power. Always hook the vehicle up first and then the side, as we wouldn't want you walking around with the live lead should it be wet or should your lead be damaged in any way. We don't want you getting an electric shock. You've also got a satellite, an external TV socket here. So if you did want to connect the TV outside, this is how you would connect to. And this locker here, so this is just an ordinary locker. But you've got this handle here, so you've got storage in there, and obviously this will just slide over and will lock this one of these keys, so you can lock for extra security when you are in storage, like so. So you've locked that, and that's giving it extra security. But this handle here goes onto your wastewater, which is just behind your exhaust, clips onto here, and then you can swing your pipe down and open to drain all your wastewater off. So this is the water you've used for your dishes water, your showering water and your hand basin water. So normally on the way out of the site you'd stop off at the motorhome service bay, and there'd be a grid in the floor and you'd drop your wastewater. And obviously in the winter you wouldn't want any wastewater being left in the tank as it's only plastic, so do drain that off, and the fresh, which I'll go through in a minute. Coming back down the driver's side, so behind the driver's side rear wheel you've got your fresh, which is indicated by the blue tap, and that swings down as well with the same winding handle. And then you can open it. So like I said, in the winter you'll want to drain all the water off, but if you were heading home from a site and you didn't want to carry any water, you can drain all your water off into a grid or a gully, or if it's a smaller site, it could just be a hole in the ground, and you'll drain all your water off. You leave no water in the winter, as you wouldn't want it to freeze in the plastic tanks, because it'll crack and it'll split the tank and it'll be quite expensive to replace. And that's how you drain your fresh water. So here is your cassette. So that's your toilet behind there. This is where all your business ends up, in the cassette. So to get the cassette out, if you lift the handle, you'll be able to slide the cassette out like so. You've got some wheels there to drag it around the site when it's full, instead of carrying it if it's a bit heavy. And to empty, if you take the cap off, you press this button here. It allows a bit of air in, gives it a consistent flow and stops it glugging. And you can tip it out. Once you have tipped it out, there's normally a tap. Put some water in, give it a rinse out, and tip out again. And then if you are using the liquid, it's a cap full of liquid into here. Or if you are using the tablet form, put a pint of water into the cassette, push it back into the vehicle, and drop a tablet straight down the toilet into the cassette, and this will degrade into the liquid. They are just like dishwasher tablets, they are in a cellophane, and it will degrade into the liquid. Normally your waste disposal point on a site is beside or behind the toilet point. And this locks with the little key. So, coming round the back of the vehicle, so you've got your scooter rack here, and then you do have a bike rack above, so should you want to take this off, you can take this off here and lower or raise the arm, and you've got 3 bikes, twin reverse camera and your high level brake light. But it's also this bumper bar, so if you ever took this off you can fit a tow bar onto there and tow with it if you should require. Coming round to the back of the passenger side, so you've got these locks again which will lock swivel over and lock with the funny shaped key. For added security, should it be in storage or should it be parked up on your drive. And then you do have underneath the bed, so they're just your infill cushions, but underneath this panel here, so if you lift all these white toggles off, is where your leisure battery lives, and that is your main leisure battery fuse there, which is a 40 amp fuse. And then you've got your external gas barbecue points, so this is your external gas, so this is where you would connect for your gas. So you get a spigot, push it into there, you'd normally then get some orange gas hosing and a Jubilee clip to connect the spigot to the hose, and then you can turn your gas on here, and then it will feed your Kadak or external barbecue. And above, this is where you fill the vehicle with water, so I'd advise you go and get yourself a brand new hose pipe with some fittings, because it's just a brass tap on most sites. And you can lock this and unlock this, put your hose into there until it overflows, so you've got a full tank. Or you can see inside it will go in increments to the level of fresh water you've got on board. But should you be going to a site, tend to carry a maximum of 20 litres with you, if you want, that is. But if you are going to site, 20 litres of water with you, maximum. This gives you the option to stop and use the toilet or have a cup of tea, should you want to rest from driving. But if you are going wild camping, you will have to take water with you, as travelling with water, if you aren't going wild camping, will make the van use a lot more fuel. And then behind this cover here, this is a submersible pump. So this is a 12 volt for your submersible pump, so you put your pins in there, drop your whale submersible pump into your aqua roll or your bucket. It'll suck the water out of the bucket, and then put the other end of the hose into here, and it'll suck the water into the tank should you not be able to get the van to water. If not, just use the hose pipe and forget about this. You've got your vent for your Aldi heating system, so that's a vent for your hot water and your boiler, which is behind here. You've got your Fiamma handle, security handle, so this can go over the door as well, and you can lock it with the small key here to stop it moving and give extra security on the habitation door. Or you just pull the handle down and have the handle out in operation. And then this is your gas locker, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. So once you've opened it with this key, and it is a bit strong as it's on a gas strut, you can fit two 11kg gas bottles in here. They are propane, and it will attach the pigtail to the bottle, the left hand thread, hand tighten, and then turn on at the top of the bottle. Only do one full turn on the top of the bottle when opening it, as should there be an emergency, it's far quicker to turn off with just one full turn to off. And then you do have a green button here, so when you do turn the gas on, turn the bottle on and then press this button for 3 seconds. There's a crash valve in here and it allows the gas into the van. And make sure the bottles are securely strapped in, and do turn them off when you do start to travel. At the passenger door, you've got your diesel, which opens with your main ignition key, and then you can fill it up with diesel. And then inside on the main slam panel here, you've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar all round, which is equivalent to 79.5 psi front and rear. You've got your engine battery underneath the floor, so should you ever need to gain access to change the battery in years to come, you can gain access here by lifting this panel out and lifting the battery out from there. But should you need to change a wheel, be towed away, so you've got a jackknife brace, a towing eye and a screwdriver in here, so this will slide out once this cover's lifted off and give you access for all your tools to change your wheel or be towed away. To open the bonnet, so on the passenger dashboard, if you push that down, you'll be able to open the bonnet. And then underneath the bonnet you do have your weight plate, so it's on an Alco chassis. That is your VIN number. which is also in the windscreen. It's 4250 gross vehicle weight. If you were to put a tow bar on, or put that tow bar on that bumper bar, you can tow up to a combined train weight of 6 ton. So this is the motorhome and the car, trailer, caravan, whatever you're going to put on the back, can't exceed 6 ton. And then you've got your front and back axle weights. Your paint codes over here for your Nero metallic black, which is 632. So if you were to go and get a touch-up pen, or you needed a panel painted and you wanted to get the paint either from the local body shop or from Fiat, you could quote that number. You've got your brake fluid, your radiator fluid, so these will lift off like so. You can lift this cover off to gain access to your radiator fluid and your power steering fluid, but the main one you're going to need is your screen wash when you're out and about on the road. You've got your oil filler here, an oil dipstick here for checking the oil. And then should you ever need to jump start the vehicle, if you put an earth there, so your black clip on here and your red on there, so this cover would normally be over, and open this cover, sometimes you need to put the key in, lift it up, and you would put your red clip there for giving or receiving a jump start or putting a charger on in the winter. So to operate your Dometic, or should I say fuel omnister awning, you've got your winding handle here, which is normally kept underneath the bed. You do put it in here, and then you wind out until you can reach inside of the canopy. So about there, and then you've got 2 legs on either side. So if you just push the leg, and then slide the legs down, you've got a nut here, so these legs are telescopic. Once you're happy with the height, tighten the nut. You can peg it out by the feet, so the feet's got 2 peg holes. Get the feet down as soon as possible, as this bears the weight of the awning. And then if you just walk the awning out, so wind it out and then just move your feet until you're happy. There is a Rafter Bar underneath the bed, which is a middle section bar which clicks on here and here, so there's 3 bars, they all join together, and it'll clip on inside onto the van and onto the front of the canopy, and this will just give extra support to the canopy. But should it be windy, or you go out for the day, or you go to bed on an evening, take the awning in, as we wouldn't want it to cause any damage to your van or anyone else's van in the wind. But if you are going to get a air awning, driveway awning, this is your C-rail, and this is where you would put your driveway kit and then connect your awning to that. Once inside the vehicle, above the habitation door is your 2 main control panels. So you've got your main 12-volt control panel, and you've got your Aldi heating and hot water control panel. So we'll start with your main control panel. So you've got an on button here. If you press this, you'll get a blue light, and then you'll either get 2 40-volt if you're hooked up, or 12-volt if you are just off your leisure battery. So on this side you've got your pump at the bottom, which surfaces your taps in your shower on board and your toilet, so you must have that on to pull the water through the pipes, otherwise you will just get whatever's left in the system and then it'll drain off. So that'll pressurize, and you'll hear it kick in and out when you open the tap or when you put the pump on until it gets up to pressure. You've got all your down lights inside the vehicle, which are then all individually switched. You've got all your dimmer lights, so you can press and hold and dim on the panel, so on and off. And then you've got your awning light, which is the outside light above the door. And then coming back to here, you can scroll through here, so you've got your leisure battery reading. It's showing you've got your fresh water reading there, and your waste 0. You've got your vehicle battery, which is 12.9, which is good. You've got your solar coming in to the vehicle, so it's currently bringing in 0.6 of an amp. But when we're hooked up, the solar panel does go to sleep, so you won't be bringing much in. And then you're back to your leisure battery. Here we'll scroll through to tank heater, so to turn them on, just use the middle button. So you'd only use them should it be, you should be away in the winter, or should it be cold weather and your water's going to freeze. Put your tank heaters on and it'll put a current of electric through the water to stop it from freezing. Select battery, always make sure it's on leisure, never put it on a vehicle. You want leisure always selected. You always want to run the motorhome off the leisure battery. You don't want to run it off the engine battery, as you will flatten it and you will require to either be jump started or the breakdown service to come and rescue you. And then you've got the vehicle, the solar to vehicle. You can change that to solar to leisure should you want, like so. And then you've got a sergeant, and then your EC620 is just your model number. Coming across to your Aldi, so once you've turned it on, you'll get a green light here and you'll get this screen. If you press menu, you can then alter the temperature of the van at the top, so from off all the way to 30 degrees. And then below you've got a picture of a shower. This is how hot you want your water. So you've got 40 sorry, or if you go to full, you've got 60. And then below you've got your electricity mark. This is working off electric, so at the minute it's off. You've got it on 1 kilowatt. So should you be on a smaller site, you may be asked to use less electric, or abroad you might be asked to use 1 kilowatt. You've got 2 kilowatts, which you can use in this country on all camping and caravanning sites. And you've got 3 kilowatts. And then you've got a gas flame here. So should you just be on while camping and not on hookup, so you've got no hookup, so you wouldn't be on electric, that would be off. You just press there until it goes green, and that would be you heating your water and heating the van off gas. Or should it be really cold in the winter and you are on site, or you do want to just boost and give your hot water a heating time to less time to heat up, if you put the gas on and you put the electric on 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts, you will then boost your time from your hot water and heating to about 20 minutes, and you'll have both. But like I say, if you did want the hot water more than the heating, I would turn the heating off and allow the hot water to take priority. Or if you did want the heating better than hot water, put the heating on until the van was to get up to temperature, and then you could turn the hot water on. And with these two, you would allow it to get the temperature before you turned the gas off, and allow the electric to carry and continue heating the van and the water. You can go into further settings and program timers and things, but I'll not confuse you. Keep it simple. There is videos on YouTube further to the Aldi system, so you can look into that, and there is books in your handbooks. So the switch is near your habitation door. So the top one is your lights for your step into your front lounge, and then you do have this switch, which is your above your lockers in the front, which you can press and hold and dim down. And then this switch closest to the door is your entrance light, so it lights up just above the door there, like so. So here by the door as well, you've got your TV point, so you've got your bracket, which will be where you connect your TV to. You've got a 3-pin plug when hooked up, so this will give you 240 power. You've got a 12 volt, you've got an aerial point and a satellite point, should the vehicle be fitted with satellite, which I don't think it is. It's just an aerial, so you'd connect there. But my advice would be to get a 12 volt TV, as they are made for motorhomes, and you can connect it by the cigarette lighter into there, and it'll power off your leisure batteries. So should you be while camping, you can use your telly, or should you just be pulled over at the services having a break from driving, you can put your TV on. In the cupboard above your fridge freezer, you have your solar panel regulator there, which is indicating green. It's putting an output into the batteries, so that's something you don't need to worry about, just leave that as it is. You've got your Vision Plus booster, so here you can turn this wheel from minimum to maximum to boost your signal should you need to, or you can turn it down should it be too strong. And then you do have your status aerial, so if you loosen the nut off, you'll be able to push the aerial up and use the toggle to twist it. But when travelling, make sure it is pulled into the van and this is tightened so the wind doesn't catch the aerial and pull it off the roof. But a tip is to just look where the other motorhomes and caravans are pointing on your site, and you should find this TV signal. Now inside your kitchen, so you've got your 3 gas rings. So you've got what? Three gas rings, which are lit like so, and then your electric hot plate, which is this side, and it'll illuminate red when it's on. When it has been on, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down, and then below you do have your grill. So when travelling, take your grill pan out or wrap it up in a tea towel. It will stop the vibrations and rattles. And then below that you've got your oven. Which will light like so. Underneath your cooker you've got your main isolation plug for your electric hot plate, so should you any bother with that you can pull the plug out like so. And then you've got storage in here with your slide out cutlery tray, storage in there, and you do have your chopping board and draining board here which will cover the sink. You've got your 240 only microwave, so when hooked up this will operate like so, and the plug for that is in here, so should you have any problems with your microwave you can isolate or turn the microwave off. You've got your plates and your cup racks in there like so. So to operate your Dometic fridge freezer, you've got your freezer box like so and your fridge, so all your controls are inside once you open the door. So you've got on and off here, so to turn it on press and hold. You've then got A, which stands for automatic. So this fridge is programmed to know what source to go on to. So if I was to take the hookup out now and my gas was to be open, it would switch over to gas. Or should I be able to start the engine, it would change over to the 12 volt battery setting, which is just a feed from the alternator, which is designed to keep the temperature of the fridge at the same temperature it was when you left site. So the idea here is to cool the fridge the night before, a couple of days before you go away. So if you are lucky enough to keep this vehicle at home, hook your van up about 2 days before, put your fridge on, allow your fridge to get nice and cool. The day before you go shopping, the day before you go away, go shopping, bring your shopping back, load your fridge and freezer up, allow it to cool overnight, and then when you do start driving, it will keep the temperature of the fridge and freezer the same, no matter if you drive half an hour or a fair distance. Your shopping should be nice and fresh when you arrive. If you wanted to take it off manual, you can by just overriding. So there we've put on manual onto gas, we've put on a manual onto 12 volt. It's failed because we're stationary on the forecourt at the moment and the engine's not running. And then you've got your, so you can use the temperature there from 1 bar to 5 bars being the coldest. So in the winter you will have to adjust that, just because with it being cold, the back of the fridge will be cold, so you don't want it on full temperature because it will freeze your shopping. And then in the winter, part of your winterizing is to clean your fridge out. So get all the shopping out, clean it out. Some people then put fridge air fresheners in to keep the smell. But the main thing you don't want to do is shut the door after you've cleaned it, as this will give you mould and moisture, and your fridge will start smelling. So if you push these catches in, you've got one on your fridge and one on your freezer. So if you push this in and slide this out, these tabs come out, and basically it stops the freezer and the fridge door from shutting fully, so air is allowed to go in and out, which then gives you circulation of air and stops the smells and bacteria and mould growing within the fridge freezer. So located underneath your French bed is your Aldi boiler. So this holds 10 litres of water at any one time, and in the winter it's crucial that you do winterize the vehicle, as you don't want the 10 litres of water to freeze in the boiler, as it isn't covered under warranty, as it's your responsibility to drain the vehicle down, which is called the winterized process. And this can be very expensive to replace or repair. So here you have a little small orange yellow toggle. So when it's lying down, it allows the boiler to hold 10 litres of water. So what you want to do is you want to stand it up, and you want it to drain all the water off. So you'd come in with no power, and you'd stand this up on end during when the vehicle's not used, and leave it open when it's not used. So don't just let it drain off and then shut it, just leave it standing open until you come to reuse the van in the springtime. Come in with no power, so the pump doesn't kick in and try to replenish the water into the boiler, and this will drain all the water directly underneath the chassis and allow the 10 litres out. And then I would open all mixer taps into the middle position to stop any air building up. Take your shower head off the hose and allow the hose to lie in the shower cubicle. And then when you do come to reuse it, shut the toggle, put the hose pipe into the side of the van outside, like I've shown you how to fill your fresh water. Come in, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first, you'll automatically get cold water through. Go to the hot side, it'll cough or splutter, it'll make all sorts of noises, as this is bleeding the air out the boiler until all the water, so that 10 litres of water hits the top of the boiler, and then it will come through the tap. So once it starts coming through the tap with a bit of pressure, go to your next tap and it should be a lot easier, and then your system is primed for the season. Also underneath your bed you have your gas isolation taps, which are all listed here for what tap isolates each appliance. But any problems with gas, turn it off at the top of the bottle. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. So underneath the bed as well, you do have your table will lie on there. Should you want to make the bed at the front, you can lie your table on there and clip it in. And then underneath this inspection hatch, you've got a big nut which opens your freshwater tank. So should you need to be in there to clean it out or anything, you can gain access in there. In your wardrobe, you've got your Aldi antifreeze tank. So this will hold antifreeze. So when it's on, it shows a lot higher than when it's off. So when it's off, it'll say minimum, and it's got maximum. So your max there and your minimum there. So when it's off, it will read a lower level. So don't think when it's off, I'll best fill it up with antifreeze, it's a bit low. Always put it on first, as it's showing above max there. Now it's on. And to fill your Aldi system, so take this off, and you've got a nut there, and you can fill it with normal antifreeze. So to operate your Thetford toilet, now we're in the bathroom. So if you press this button here, this will give you your flush, so make sure your pump's on and you'll get your flush. And then, like I was saying, on the outside, if the cassette was closed, you get the cassette out. If it's open like so, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle. So to deposit your waste, use the trapdoor, which can also be called the slide. So you've got a grey lever here, so if you slide it to the right, it'll open the cassette door and allow your waste to deposit into the cassette. This must be closed to get the cassette out. And then on the back, you've got a diagram of a cassette. Once the wheel goes red, it's indicating that the cassette needs to come out, be emptied and be replenished with chemical. Above it you've got some storage for your toiletries, and then loads of storage around the van. Got a heated towel rail, which is part of your Aldi, which really does give a lovely warm heat into the bathroom. Got more storage, and you do have your shower, so you can turn this when you're travelling. So these are just your travel catches on your shower. So there's a catch here which holds this back, and then you can push this in and pull it out to stop them sliding. So if you do pull it out, you'll be able to slide your shower screen shut when using, and then to keep it shut, just stop, that'll stop that. And then, like I was saying, if you do take your shower head off like so and allow this hose to lie in the shower tray, it'll stop any water getting caught up in the U-bend at the bottom, and leave all taps open in the bathroom as well as the kitchen when winterising. To operate your roof lights, if you press the button in, slide the bar down, you slide it all the way out, you slide it into the grooves to allow a nice breeze should it be a lovely summer's evening or day. You've got a blackout blind and you've got a fly screen on all skylights and windows. Make sure they are shut when travelling, the same as your windows, as they're just plastic, and if the wind catches them they can be damaged or needing replaced. So to extend your table, you've got this extension panel here which just clips in the front and then slides in and gives you extra space for people dining at this seat, and you can turn the seats round and you can all dine together. So underneath your side facing bench seat, you've got a switch here, and this switch operates the fan for the Aldi heating system on the back of this seat here, which will blow the air into the front of the cab and around your living space. Located underneath your rear travelling seats is your power supply unit. So you've got your system shutdown button here, so should you be leaving the vehicle in storage or leaving it standing, you can press this and it'll isolate any power coming out the batteries so you don't get a power drain. You've got all your 12 volt fuses there, so it would be a good idea to go and get some spares from your local part supplier for cars. They'll supply all these. They're just standard blade fuses. They all are then listed down here on here, so it'll tell you what they do and what amperage they should be. You've got your, so just leave these on for your charger and your heating system, otherwise if you turn them off they'll not work, but they'll only work on when you're on 240 volt. So these will detect when and light up when you are on it. If not, you'll have to use obviously your Aldi off gas, and your charger won't split the charge between the engine and habitation, which is your leisure battery. Below you've got your trip switches. So these are all, so should your hairdryer or kettle trip the van out, check here first before you check your site. So to make your bed up, so if you lift this up and then you pull the handle, this will lift that up. You've got one leg, two legs, lie them down so that they bear the weight. You can then slide this forward and then you do the same here. Lift up, pull the leg out, slide it forward, and then you would use your cushions. So your backrest would go in there. You've got some infill cushions underneath the bed. You'd use your base cushion back into its position, and then you'd use your infill cushions to fill the space in, and you'd have a double bed across the van. Operate the roof light above the cab, so if you just push them backwards and then you've got a winder, it's very stiff, but just keep going and it'll wind your roof light open. Always travel with this closed. It isn't a sun roof with it being in the cab. It is designed just for when you're stationary, so make sure it is locked in and secure like all the other windows, and push them back so it's secure. Then you've got a fly screen and a blackout blind for an evening. So in your cab, To the right of the driver, you do have your handbrake on the floor here. You've got your electric windows, driver and passenger. Electric mirror adjustments, which does, so it's a joystick, so you'd move it to which mirror you want adjusted. So the top two being the top big two on the driver and the passenger, and the bottom two being your blind spot. You've then got your headlight adjustments and rear fogs. Your trip computers on the end of your wipers, so you can check out all your range, your distance travelled, your average consumption, your instant consumption, your average speed. You've got your hands-free. This will scroll through your contacts or your radio channels. You've got your volume and mute. You've got your cruise control and speed limiter here. So cruise being at the top, which will indicate on the dash with a green light in the corner there. And then speed limiter at the bottom, which you can set so that you won't go over a speed unless you kick right down, and then it'll allow you to go over the speed should you need to, as it's a safety feature to stop a collision. You've got your lights and the indicators. 6-speed manual gearbox with lifter collar and into reverse, which will then bring your camera on. That beeping in the background is to say we're hooked up, so don't go anywhere. So that'll bring your rear view camera. You've got your hazard lights. This locks all 3 doors, so cab door and motorhome habitation door. Heated mirrors, so should they be wet or foggy you can put them on to clear. USB for charging and 12 volt for charging. Your other USB and auxiliaries down here for the radio. You've got your temperature on the outside and fan speed on the in. Must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work. And then you do have your distribution, so where you want the air to go, and your circulation, either recirculating air within the vehicle or bringing fresh air in. You've got your head unit here, so this is a DAB head unit, but it does have FM and AM, so we're on DAB at the minute. Once you find the channel you want, you can press 1 to 6 to save, or you can press radio to change over to FM or AM. Media would be auxiliary or USB, should it be connected. There's no CD on these ones. Phone, to connect your phone, press enter on here, and you would add phone and find Uconnect. Make sure the pins match, press pair on your smart device, and then it'll ask you if you want to sync your contacts. Press yes and it'll download your phone book into here, and then whoever rings will come up on the head unit. And then you do have your glove box, and you've got your top glove box, which is heated and cooled by the temperature of the van, so selected on the air conditioning. So should you have little bottles of water and sweets in here when it's on cold, that'll keep them nice and cool. And then you do have blinds on here, so if you pinch, you'll be able to slide them down. Same on the drivers. And then if you slide them into here and slide these ones, you connect them together like so. And that is how to black your cab out. Is your main windscreen cab blind blacked out. So they are just a magnetic strip on here, so should it be a windy night or it's going to be windy, I would put a bobble or elastic band around the 2 handles to keep them shut, because it's just magnetic and wind will make them ping open, and that's the last thing you want to do when you're trying to sleep.